years ago, the great British explorer George Mallory, who was to die on Mount Everest, was asked why did he want to climb it. He said, because it is there. Well, space is there, and we're going to climb it. And the moon and the planets are there, and new hopes for knowledge and peace are there. And therefore, as we set sail, we ask God's blessing on the most hazardous and dangerous and greatest adventure on which man has ever embarked.
In the late 1960s to the early 1970s, NASA's Saturn rockets orbited the Moon on 9 separate missions and landed on the surface 6 times. The moon landing hoax theory is most commonly traced back to Bill Kaysing, a former US Navy officer and technical writer who briefly worked at Rocketdyne. Kaysing self-published the book We Never Went to the Moon, America's $30 billion swindle in 1976. In it, he claimed insider knowledge of a government cover-up, arguing the landings were faked in a studio to fulfill President Kennedy's space race promises. He later amended his book after numerous and egregious claims were shown to be false, claims that could have easily been debunked in a high school physics class. Indeed, Mythbusters made an entire show debunking the claims made on social media, and actual experts, not apparent deathbed confessions from someone who knew someone, have a multitude of websites and channels explaining everything from how the astronauts used a toilet to the actual coding used for the IBM computers.
Busted.
Busted.
For the 2018 film First Man, a custom-made 200,000-watt xenon lamp was used to light a set in Atlanta. Being no match for our sun and positioned a small distance away, it was impossible to replicate the sharp black shadows on the stage set. The heat alone from the light, with Earth's atmospheric conditions, brought other complications, all of which had to be edited and tweaked using modern video editing effects. All of the missions are available to view, and the Apollo 11 in Real-Time website has 3 Apollo missions in their entirety. One can also view thousands of photographs via the March to the Moon website. For Apollo 11's mission, 1,455 photographs were taken on 3 different cameras, not forgetting the live film feeds of the crew on their journey, inside their quarters, and much of the 2.5 hours whilst they were walking on the moon. Even after the Cold War with the USSR, and in today's climate of proxy war with Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, not one piece of evidence has been put forward to debunk the moon missions, not from their intelligence agencies, governments, or their media. Indeed, 5 countries have captured images of all 6 landing sites. The terrain from all 6 of the moon missions' footage, each divot, rock, crater, and boulder, perfectly fits recent satellite mapping of the moon's surface. Anyway, I care not what individuals believe or the push to make money from views. Argue that on your own channels. I'm going to look at the psychology behind denying one of man's greatest achievements.
The tank pressurization test will not start until 1300.
In the shadow corners of intellectual discourse, where ancient scriptures intersect with modern astrophysics, we encounter the theological skeptics of the Apollo missions. These individuals, often rooted in fundamentalist interpretation of religious text view the moon landings not as triumphs of human ingenuity, but as affronts to divine cosmology. Drawing from literal readings of the Bible, particularly passages like Genesis 1:6-8, which describes a firmament as a solid dome separating the waters above from those below, they posit that the heavens are an impenetrable barrier, rendering space travel not just improbable, but theologically untenable. To them, NASA's grainy black and white footage from 1969 smacks of blasphemy, a fabricated spectacle designed to erode faith in a geocentric universe ordained by God. Consider the intellectual scaffolding of this skepticism. It's not mere ignorance, but a sophisticated hermeneutic framework. Proponents such as those influenced by 19th century figures like Samuel Burley Robotham revive flat earth cosmologies under the banner of biblical literalism, argue that the moon is a lesser light, a celestial body affixed to the firmament, not a rocky orb amenable to human boots. The Van Allen radiation belts, well, divine sentinels, impassable without violating the Creator's edict against ascending too high. This perspective appeals to a cognitive elegance. Why complicate the cosmos with relativistic physics? It's a form of epistemological humility, privileging revelation over empirical observation, much like how Ptolemy's deference once harmonized Aristotelian spheres with naked eye astronomy. Yet this stance invites rigorous scrutiny. Theologians, from Augustine to Aquinas, have long advocated for the harmony of faith and reason, interpreting scripture allegorically where it conflicts with natural philosophy. The firmament, in Hebrew rakia, denotes expanse rather than solidity. A poetic flourish, not a structural blueprint. Empirical counter-evidence abounds. Retroreflectors placed on the lunar surface by Apollo 11 astronauts still bounce laser beams back to Earth, a feat verifiable by independent observatories worldwide. Skeptics counter with claims of studio trickery, but this devolves into unfalsifiability, echoing Popper's criterion for pseudoscience. Psychologically, these skeptics embody a profound existential anchor. In an era of accelerating secularization, the moon landing coinciding with Vatican II's reforms and the social upheavals of the 1960s, the Apollo program represented not just technological hubris, but a narrative shift from divine to human agency.
Second, Dave, let me get around here. I can get a picture too. Okay.
Jump drop, Houston.
All these marks all over the window. Shoot, oh dear.
Jump drop, Houston.
Hey, Dave. Okay. Are you ready? See? Now use your head when you're out there. You know, this isn't a contest between you and that sample. All right.
For the devout, doubt in the landings preserves the sanctity of a universe where humanity is not the measure of all things, but a steward within God's grand design. It's a bulwark against nihilism, where the vastness of space might otherwise dwarf the soul. As we dissect this, remember, skepticism, when tethered to intellect, probes the boundaries of belief, but when it calcifies into dogma, it risks eclipsing the very wonders, lunar and luminous, that Scripture invites us to contemplate. In the end, the moon's alleged deception isn't about photons and film reels. It's a mirror reflecting our deepest yearnings for meaning amid the stars.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light."
In the grand theatre of the space race, Apollo 10 emerges not as the headliner, but as the meticulous understudy. a mission whose precision and peril underscore the inexorable logic of incremental audacity. Launched on May 18, 1969, from Kennedy Space Center atop a Saturn V behemoth.
15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. We have ignition sequence start. Engines on 5, 4, 3, 2. All engines running. Launch commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff 49 minutes past the hour. Stafford reports the clock has started. The tower is clear.
Okay, pitch is tracking, looking good. Tracking. Roll complete, ELF ready. Tracking roll.
This dress rehearsal for lunar touchdown propelled Thomas Stafford, John Young, and Eugene Cernan towards a rendezvous with destiny, 238,855 miles distant. Its mandate to once again orbit the moon, test the lunar module in the treacherous gravitational dance of low lunar orbit, and return without the final imprint of surface contact. A high-wire act validating every subsystem for Apollo 11's epochal step 2 months hence. The chronology unfolds with symphonic rigor. Transposition and docking with the command module Odyssey occurred flawlessly en route, a ballet of pyrotechnics and precision that Young executed with the nonchalance of a seasoned aviator. Upon lunar arrival on May 22nd, the crew separated the lunar module Snoopy, yet engineered with cryogenic lethality, descending to a perilously low 8.4 nautical miles above the Sea of Tranquility. Here the intellectual crux. Simulating powered descent and ascent, Stafford and Cernan fired the descent engine to 50 feet per second, halting 47 seconds shy of touchdown to avert an inadvertent landing that could have stranded them there eternally.
Look at the Earth. Look at the Earth. Oh, gee, look at the Earth, John. Get it. All right, y'all. Oh my God! Can't believe it. It's just. That's beautiful. And the color film didn't work. That makes me so mad. John, we just had Earthrise. Fantastic. Golly, John, Tom, get that if you can. I don't have any color film on this son of a bitch. Try it once more. Maybe it'll work.
The ascent stage's hypergolic ignition propelled them back to rendezvous, a fiery reunion consummated 363 miles out. With the descent stage jettisoned into lunar orbit, a spectral relic still circling today, its trajectory computable via orbital mechanics. This wasn't mere telemetry porn. Apollo 10 yielded gold for the cognoscenti. Television transmissions beamed crystalline views of the lunar far side, a desolate canvas of craters and maria unseen by human eyes until then, corroborating geological models and scouting Apollo 11's Tranquility base. Navigation stars photographed against the barren horizon refined ephemeris tables. The service propulsion system's deep space burn-tested cryogenic boil-off, a thermodynamic riddle solved under vacuum's unforgiving gaze. Yet peril shadowed prowess. A 4-foot guidance misalignment during ascent, resolved by Cernan's instinctive override, raw human intuition trumping algorithmic frailty, a nod to Heidegger's critique of techniques as merely inframing. Now pivot to the conspiratorial counterfactual. If Apollo 11's one small step was a Hollywood slight, Kubrick's reel spun in a desert bunker, why orchestrate Apollo 10's veritable gauntlet? The hoax hypothesis, elegant in its parsimony for a single event, fractures under cumulative scrutiny. Prior missions, Apollo 7's orbital shakedown, Apollo 8's Yuletide circumlunar gambit, and Apollo 9's Earth orbital lem tango, weren't optional ephemera, but ontological prerequisites. Each layered verifiability. Soviet telemetry tracked their vectors. Amateur astronomers logged translunar injections. Over 400,000 contractors iterated hardware from ablative heat shields to inertial platforms under congressional audits and rival espionage. Fabricating Apollo 10 alone, a live broadcast peril with real-time anomalies like the witchcraft guidance glitch, which was dissected publicly, multiplies leak vectors exponentially, violating the conspiracy's own axiom of minimal exposure. Selective fakery presumes a godlike compartmentalization, yet history's deceptions thrive on isolation, not escalation. Apollo's architecture was Darwinian, survival of the fittest trajectory, honed by near failures like Apollo 6's pogo oscillations. To feign the pinnacle while executing the pedestal invites Bayesian implausibility. The posterior odds of flawless simulation give an independent verification, approach vanishing. For the discerning mind, Apollo 10 isn't prologue, but proof. Authenticity accrues through ordeal, not artifice. In its shadow, doubt dissolves, revealing not deception, but the sublime arithmetic of human ascent. Each orbit a theorem, each burn a postulate, culminating in Armstrong's dust-covered boots. The spectre of Stanley Kubrick as Apollo 11's clandestine auteur, a maestro conscripted by NASA to choreograph cosmic deception, captivates with its cinematic flair, yet crumbles under temporal and technical scrutiny. Envisage the maestro, fresh from 2001, A Space Odyssey. Its post-production hemorrhaging into April 1968's premiere, amid budgetary tempests and MGM's exasperated delays. Exhausted, Kubrick decamped to England's seclusion, his psyche scarred by the film's interstellar exertions. A 4-year odyssey that left him adverse to further spacefaring fiction, as confided to biographers. By July 1969, Eagle's touchdown, Kubrick was ensnared in pre-production for Napoleon, a sprawling historical epic green-lit, yet torpedoed by MGM's financial woes. Only in late 1969 did he pivot to A Clockwork Orange, scripting and scouting in Hertfordshire's isolation, with principal photography not commencing until 1970. Inserting a clandestine lunar shoot, demanding months of covert choreography, set fabrication, and 400,000 complicit souls into this itinerary defies logistical arithmetic. The hoax's gestation would span years, not weeks, clashing with Kubrick's metronomic deliberateness. 2001's effects alone consumed 18 months of orbital wizardry. Look at this artwork of space, how painted and pieced together it looks, against the real thing shot in space just months later. Not forgetting that NASA had real footage around the moon in 1968. If Kubrick and his world-class team had been capable of this, then why wouldn't he have created 2001 to look this amazing? Today we can easily see unedited footage from 50,000 feet above the moon as the lunar module eases its way down to the moon's surface. From just 1 mile up above the ground, the human eye can see up to 140 miles to the horizon. Technically, 1969's Arsenal, front projection, matte paintings, miniatures, faltered against verisimilitude's demands, simulating 1/6 gravity's parabolic dust arcs. Impassable sans modern CGI. As film savants attest, Kubrick's slit-scan stargates were triumphs of stasis, not ballistic veracity. The slow-motion footage, broadcast live to 600 million, evince vacuum's unyielding hush, no airbrush retakes, no orchestral swells. Moreover, secrecy's paradox. Kubrick, the perfectionist recluse, loathed leaks. Enlisting him risks his confessional lens, as in The Shining's purported off-screen drama. This fable, birthed in 1970s tabloids, endures as cultural Rorschach, projecting Hollywood's godlike aura onto empirical voids. Yet for the cognitively acute, it illuminates not deceit, but authenticity's quiet rigour. Armstrong's step, unscripted, outshines any reel.
At the foot of the ladder, the limb footpads are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder.
Now this device, as long as you go on feeding hydrogen and oxygen into it, and you remove the water formed, it'll go on generating power indefinitely. And in fact, the astronauts drink the water.
Flight director's job is to head this team, to make sure that the mission objectives are carried out, that the flight plan is carried out.
Tequin Roberts from Anglesey's rugged shores architectured Houston's mission control and its global tracking lattice, weaving a neural net of telemetry that transmuted peril into precision.
What will all your people be doing at this moment?
Well, not only the NASCOM, but the tracking stations as well, the NASCOM linking them together.
Charles Lowry's parachutes orchestrated the oceanic denouement, while Nottingham's alchemists, Addison and Logan, exercised propellant gremlins, ensuring ascent from regolith without corrosion's kiss.
Then, even more important, successfully bring the 3 crew members back to Earth, and we're looking forward to that, and we've been looking forward to it for a very considerable time.
Yet the poet-astronomer Sir Patrick Moore embodies Britain's romantic empiricism. His hand-sketched lunar cartography, etched through nights with a 12.5-inch reflector, unveiled the Mare Orientale in 1948, a phantom basin eluding official gazetteers, later ratified by Lunik 3. NASA consulted these maps for Apollo's enlightenment, scouting Tranquility's cradle amid cratered ambiguity. In Moore's gaze, the moon yielded not myth, but metric, a British sextant guiding Yankee boots to divinity's dust. Indeed, had it not been for financial constraints after World War II, the British may very well have won the space race. Their Megarock, a continuation and expansion from captured V-2 rockets, saw many aspects from its design go into the US Mercury program. Indeed, NASA engineers who studied the British program said it was 10 years ahead of its time. Neil Armstrong himself was of British descent and was a proud descendant of the Armstrong clan.
This hometown is the genuine feeling that I have among these hills.
Apollo 11 stands as the apotheosis of audacity, a meticulously scripted odyssey where 3 men, ensconced in a tree of titanium cocoons, traverse the cosmic gulf to etch footprints in regolith. Launched on July 16th, 1969, from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, the Saturn V's thunderous exhalation propelled Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins into an initial Earth parking orbit of 114 by 116 nautical miles.
20 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 2,195 feet per second. Flight, how you? That's a good flight. GMC? Good flight. That's a good flight. Word. Yeah, it don't make a difference. No difference. Everything just go, Ralph.
We're through the region of maximum dynamic pressure now.
First to flight, how you? Where's our flight? Sergeant. Where's our flight? We're 1350 at the start line.
Set 8 miles downrange, 12 miles high. Velocity 4,000 feet per second.
Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Stand by for mode 1 Charlie. Mark, mode 1 Charlie. Taking booster. Go. Go. Guys, go.
Took Charles 1 taking the staging status.
All 11, this is Houston. You are go for staging. Inboard cutoff.
Inboard engines.
Confirm inboard cutoff. Confirm inboard. Ready.
Downrange 35 miles, 30 miles high. Standing by for the outboard engine cut down now.
Staging. And ignition. Cut off the ignition. Roger. Thrusters go all engines. Looks good. Houston, thrusters go all engines. You're looking good. Hi, Roger. You're loud and clear, Houston.
At 3 minutes, downrange 70 miles, 43 miles high, velocity 9,300 feet per second.
We got straight step. Roger, we confirm. Straight step. Roger. Tower's gone. Tower's gone, Adam.
Neil Armstrong confirming both the engine skirt separation and the launch escape tower separation.
Houston, be advised the visual is go today.
The mission's total duration spanned 8 days, 3 hours, 18 minutes and 35 seconds, a temporal arc from liftoff to splashdown, encapsulating not mere travel, but a philosophical pivot from terrestrial bondage to stellar sovereignty. The trajectory unfurled with balletic precision. After translunar injection, the rocket created a velocity increment of approximately 10,177 feet per second, hurtling the stack towards the moon at roughly 24,000 miles per hour. This escape velocity, a relativistic whisper against light's indifference, committed Columbia and Eagle to a 3-day coast across nearly 239,000 miles of void.
Pick out the western U.S., San Joaquin Valley, the Sierra Mountain Range, the peninsula of Baja California, and can see some cloud formations over southeastern U.S. There's one definite mild storm southwest of Alaska. Looks like about 500 to 1,000 miles. And another very minor storm showing the south end of the screen near the, a long way south of the equator, probably 45 degrees or more south latitude.
Neil is coming in 5 by there, 11. Mike, see you in the background. The definition is really outstanding. The colors are good. It's a real good picture we're getting here.
Okay, and then directly behind his head are our optical instruments, the sextant and the telescope that we use to take sightings with.
Roger, copy, and we see the disk keep flashing with a 651. In fact, we can read registers 1 and 2 quite clearly.
Yeah, the old high gain angles telling us which way the Earth is.
Copy. That's a beautiful picture. Clarity is outstanding.
Mid-course corrections, nominal burns of mere seconds via the service propulsion system, nudged the path while Collins, the solitary sentinel, orchestrated transposition and docking, severing Eagle from its adapter and jettisoning the spent S-14B into a solar orbit.
11, Houston, if that's not the Earth, we're in trouble.
That's the Earth, and we have a very good view of it today. There are a few more cloud bands on than yesterday when we beamed down to you, but it's a beautiful sight.
We've been receiving television now from the spacecraft for about an hour and 20 minutes. Apollo 11 presently 177,000 miles from Earth.
What was that, Buzz, you're chasing now?
That was me picking up some particles of paint that were floating through the air in front of the camera there.
Right, Neil, we got it. There's us at Neil's about to check the Velcro map there. Okay, Buzz, we see the card up now.
Okay, for those of you that don't know, this is where we log most of our data for each of the LEM maneuvers. And we have another card like this. It's the timeline book that we place down on the table in front of the data and display keyboard. And it's on this timeline that we have all our procedures. We obviously have to hold these in place in 0G, so we make use of the Velcro patches on the back and on the table. So we can attach these down here. And then we just turn the pages over when we go to new sequences in our timeline of procedures.
Lunar orbit insertion break the ensemble into an elliptical 60 by 170 nautical mile lunar perch with a retrograde delta variant of 2924 feet per second. The SPS firing for 357.5 seconds amid the moon's barren visage.
Well, I have to vote with the 10 crew. That thing is brown.
Yeah.
Good. And to me.
But when I first saw it at that other sun angle,
it
really looked great.
A succinct LOI-2 circularized the orbit by 54 to 66 nautical miles, velocity stabilizing at about 3,600 miles per hour, a languid 1.6 kilometers per second relative to the lunar mass.
The Earth. See it? Yeah. Beautiful. Right over the limb. Boy, does that ever look beautiful in the section.
Here in this gravitational pas de deux, the crew savoured the far side's silence, a hemisphere untouched by terrestrial gaze, before undocking at GET 100.12. Eagle, now autonomous, descended via descent orbit insertion, its descent propulsion system throttling to sculpt a perilously shallow eclipse. Powered descent initiation commenced, the DPS igniting for 756 seconds in a controlled plummet.
Roger, I think I've got you on high gain now.
Roger.
Got us locked up there, Telcom.
Okay, it's just real weak, Flight.
Okay. How are you looking? All your systems go?
That's a firm, Flight.
How about you, Control?
We look good.
Guidance, you happy?
Hey, get the angles up.
Fido, how about you?
We'll get them in middle before we go around.
Roger. Pitch 212, yaw plus 37.
Copy. Arm defense. Second.
All flight controllers, 30 seconds to ignition.
Negative, not yet. Stand by.
Bob, you're on the loop.
Okay, the override is 5 seconds.
Lights on.
Dips arm.
Roger, dips arm.
Knowledge.
1, 0. Mission 10%.
10% TCP.
Roger, 10%.
Lost data, Flight.
Roger, copy.
Going to aft Omni?
Let's wait till they get through throttle up.
Aft Omni.
Let's wait till they get through throttle up. They should be throwback. Go ahead, try aft Omni.
Columbia, Houston, we've lost them. Tell them to go aft Omni, over.
Flight Fido, we've lost misfin.
Roger, you've lost misfin.
Okay, flight guidance.
Go, guidance.
Turn on, we're at 20 foot per second residual. That is probably due to downtrack error.
I'll leave it
Roger,
blue.
about
Relay
5 foot
to it.
residual due to downtrack area.
I think.
See if
And it
they
was on
got me
radio.
now. I got good
We have
signal
data,
strength
Flight.
is blue.
Flight Fido,
Eagle, we got
GTC,
you
go.
now. It's looking good, over.
GTC, go.
Flight control, we're go.
Roger,
FTP
control.
looks good.
Roger.
Radio descent looks good.
Eagle, Houston, everything's looking good here, over.
Roger, copy.
Eagle, Houston, after yaw around angles, S-band pitch, -9er, yaw, +18.
Flight Fido, we have negative misfin.
Roger, negative misfin. You got Doppler?
Copy.
Fido, what data do you have?
Kings and Ags and Doppler Flight, we
Roger.
go. Restarting misfin now.
Roger, how's the Doppler looking?
Looks good, Flight.
Roger.
Ags and things agree very closely.
Roger. Dips thrust, 9820.
Roger, thrust 9820.
Copy, flight.
Data solid. How you looking, guidance?
Hanging out at 20 foot per second. Looks good.
Altitude's a little high.
No change is what you're saying.
No change. That's downtrack, I know it.
Roger.
2 minutes, 20 seconds, everything looking good. We show altitude about 47,000 feet.
Altitude difference.
Roger.
Flight Fido, GTC is right on
Houston,
nominal.
I'm getting a
Roger,
little
GTC
fluctuation
nominal.
in the AC voltage now.
Roger.
50 meter maybe, huh?
It's okay, Flight.
Stand by.
Okay.
It's looking good to us. You're still looking good at coming up 3 minutes.
Okay, Control, let me know when he starts his yaw here.
Roger. 3 minutes, late early.
How's your misspin looking now, Fido?
Flight Fido, we do have the altitude. We're go.
Okay, how about you, guidance?
Hold me that 18, but we're going to make it a thing.
Our
position check downrange to it to be a little long.
Roger, copy.
He thinks you're a little just long downrange.
That's right. I think we confirm that.
We confirm that.
Roger. Okay, all flight controllers, 30 seconds to next go, no go. Okay, all flight controllers, I'm going around the horn.
I think it's going to
Make your go, no goes based on the data you had fired LOS. I see we got it back. Give you another few seconds.
We're going, fine.
Okay, retro, go. Fido, go. Guide, go. Control, go. Telcom, go. GNC, go. Ecom, go. Surgeon, go. Capcom, or go to continue PDI.
Eagle, Houston, you're a go to continue.
At 4 minutes.
Skip that Telcom, ED bats, go.
You're a go to you go to continue power descent. You're a go to continue power descent.
Okay, everybody, let's have time for landing radar.
Altitude 40,000.
We'll need that many rate at 18,000.
And Eagle, Houston, we got data dropout. You're still looking good.
On the pings.
Roger, I copy guidance.
Okay.
Okay, we got data back.
Radar flight looks good.
Raj.
2,000 feet.
Raj, 2,000 foot Delta H.
Okay, we got good lock on.
Let me know when he accepts it, guidance.
Roger.
Altitude lights out. LH is minus 2,900.
Roger, we copy.
At the Earth, right out our front window. Houston, you're looking at our Delta H.
Raj.
Looks good.
That's affirmative.
Program alarm.
Looking
Is he
good to us,
accepting it,
over.
guidance?
1202. 1202.
Looks like it's converging.
Good radar data. Altitude now 33,500 feet.
Yeah, and the same thing we had.
Flight, retro.
Go, retro.
Throttle down, 6 plus 25.
Give us a reading on the 1202 program alarm.
We're going that flight.
We're going that alarm?
Roger, we got you.
If
We're
it doesn't
going that
reoccur,
alarm.
we go. He's taking in a Delta H now.
Raj.
Roger.
Did you
330.
get the throttle down,
6
Capcom?
plus 25, throttle down. 6 plus 25, throttle down.
Flight Fido converging on
Roger, copy.
Raj.
6 plus 25.
Control, we have velocity.
Raj.
We're still go. Altitude 27,000 feet.
Same alarm, and it appears to come up when we have a 1668 up.
Roger, copy.
Okay, we'll monitor his Delta H flight.
Raj.
I think that's when it's getting it.
Okay.
Eagle, Houston, we'll monitor your Delta
And his
H.
alarms.
Raj.
Delta H is beautiful.
Delta H is
Looks
looking
good now.
Roger, Delta H is looking good
Okay,
to
all
us.
flight controllers hang tight. Should be throttling down pretty shortly.
Throttle on time.
Roger, copy, throttle down.
Throttle down. Better in the simulator.
Roger.
How's it looking, guys?
Lights and things look real close.
You want him to stay out of 68?
Negative flight. I just said we'll monitor the alarms.
Okay.
Okay.
Altitude now 21,000 feet.
Go,
Still
guys.
looking very good.
68 now well may be the problem here, and we can monitor Delta H.
Raj.
Flight Fido looking real good.
Raj.
Velocity down now to
In
1,200 feet
7
per
minutes,
second.
you're looking great to us, Eagle.
Telcom, how you looking?
Okay, I'm
Good,
still
Raj.
on flu, so we may tend to lose as we gradually pitch over. Let me try auto again now, see
We're
what
going to try
happens.
the steerable
Roger.
again, Don. Copy, flight.
Okay, looks like it's holding.
Roger, we got good data.
We on steerable, Don?
That's a affirmative flight, and it's holding in there pretty good.
Raj. Okay, everybody hang tight. 7.5 minutes.
7 minutes, 30 seconds into the burn.
The velocity's beautiful.
Raj.
Flight control.
Altitude 16,300 feet.
Descent to fuel crit.
Descent to fuel only. No
Fuel.
critical. He didn't want to say critical.
Raj. Descent to fuel.
Eagle, Houston, it's descent to fuel to monitor, over.
72.
Altitude 13,000
Fido
feet.
looking real good.
Raj.
Velocity 9,100 feet
Give
per
us an
second.
estimated switchover time, please, Goose.
Roger, stand by. You're looking great at 8 minutes.
Got an estimated, what's our T-go guidance?
Correction on that velocity, now reading
Eagle,
760
you
feet
got
per
30
second.
seconds to P64.
Okay, we still got landing radar guidance.
Affirm.
Okay, is
Roger.
it converged?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is it converged?
Yes.
Okay.
Flight Fido, we're go. Look real good.
Raj, Fido.
Fido says we're go, altitude
Eagle, Houston,
9,200
coming
feet.
up 8:30. You're looking great.
Descent rate 129
Okay,
feet
they
per
got
second.
64.
We copy.
T-go's good.
Raj, T-go's go.
We have position 2 on the LR.
Raj, position 2, all flight controllers, 20 seconds to go, no go for landing.
Eagle, you're looking great. Coming up 9 minutes.
We're now in the approach phase, everything looking good. Altitude
Okay, all
5,200
flight
feet.
controllers, go, no go for landing. Retro.
Go.
Fido.
Go.
Guidance.
Go.
Control.
Go.
Manual
Go.
attitude
GNC.
control is good.
Econ.
Roger,
Surgeon.
copy.
Go.
Capcom, we're go for landing.
Altitude
Eagle,
4,200.
Houston, you're a go for landing. Over.
Roger, understand. Go for landing. 3,000 feet.
Copy.
Alarm. 1201.
1201. Roger, 1201 alarm.
Same type, we're go, flight.
Okay, we're go.
We're go. Same type. We're go.
Flight Fido, right on. Real good.
2,000 feet. 2,000 feet. Into the ag. 47 degrees.
Roger.
47
How's the
degrees.
margin looking, Bob?
It looks okay. We're about
Okay.
4.5.
Roger.
Eagle looking great. You're go.
Altitude update now.
Altitude 1,600.
Roger.
1,400 feet, still looking very good.
Roger, 1202. We copy it.
How you doing, Control?
35
We
degrees.
look good here, fine.
Raj, how about you,
35
Tom?
degrees.
Go. Guidance, you happy?
750.
Go.
Fido.
Coming down
Go.
at 23. 700 feet, 21 down. 33 degrees. 100 feet down at 19. 540 feet down at 30 and at 15.
Attitude hold.
Okay, at hold.
I think we better be quiet.
And
Roger.
400 feet down at 9.
Okay, the only call-outs from now on will be fuel.
Gate forward. 1050 feet down at 4.
P66.
33 and a half down. They're pegged on horizontal velocity. 300 feet down 3.5. 47 forward. Put up. On 1.5 down. 70. Got this shadow up there. 50 down at 2.5. 19 forward.
Okay, Bob, I'll be standing by for your
Altitude,
call out
velocity
shortly.
light. 3.5 down. 220 feet. 13 forward. 11 forward, coming down nicely. 200 feet. 4.5 down. 5.5 down. 160 feet. 6.5 down. 5.5 down. 9 forward.
Low level.
So level.
Good. 120 feet. 100 feet, 3.5 down, 9 forward. 5%. 185. Okay, 75 feet. There's looking
about
good,
60.
down a half.
Roger.
6 forward.
60 seconds.
60 seconds.
Lights on. 6. Down 2.5. Forward. Forward. That's 40 feet down 2.5. Picking up some dust. 30 feet, 2.5 down. Great shadow.
Stand by for 30.
4 forward. 4 forward. Drifting to the right a little.
30.
30
Down a
seconds.
half.
30 seconds.
Forward. Good. Okay. Contact light. Okay, engine stop. ACA at a descent. Mode control both auto. Descent engine command override off. Engine arm off. Port 13 is in.
We've had shutdown.
We copy you down, Eagle.
Okay, everybody, T1, stand by for T1.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're breathing again. Thanks a lot.
About 8 minutes into the powered descent, an alarm went off in the lunar module Eagle. The display keyboard showed 1202. This meant that the Apollo guidance computer had an executive overflow. Its memory was overloaded because too many tasks were queued up at once. The computer, called the AGC, had limited RAM. It handled everything, guiding the descent, updating the inertial system, monitoring for aborts, and much more. At that moment, the system was already busy with a high-demand landing phase. The cause? The rendezvous radar switch was left in the auto position. This radar was for linking up with the command module later, during ascent. Normally, it should have been off to save resources, but Buzz Aldrin had switched it to auto just before, following a step in the checklist that wasn't clear in training. The switch activated the radar's 2 channels, which started constantly polling for data, sending interrupts to the computer every 11.7 microseconds. These interrupts weren't needed right then, since there was no rendezvous happening, but they stole processing time up to 15 to 20% of the computer's cycles, adding extra load on top of the descent tasks.
Give us a reading on the 1202 program alarm.
We're going that flight.
We're going that alarm.
Roger, we got you. We're going that alarm.
We go.
Roger.
That pushed the queue over the limit, triggering the 1202 alarm 5 times during those critical minutes. The ground team in Houston, guys like Steve Bales and Jack Garman, quickly figured it out using simulators. They knew the alarm was low priority and wouldn't crash the guidance system, so they told the crew to keep going. Neil Armstrong took partial manual control to adjust the landing site, and they touched down safely with seconds of fuel to spare.
Capcom, we're stay for T1.
It looks like we're landing the oxidizer now.
Roger, Eagle, and you are stay for T1. Over. Eagle, you are stay for T1.
Roger, heading ox.
Roger. And we see him stay for T1.
Roger, and we see you pinning the ox.
After landing, they switched the radar to manual, stopping the interrupts. The whole thing showed how the computer's design was smart. It restarted non-essential tasks, but kept the core guidance running. Aldrin's requests here refer to those checklist steps he followed, which accidentally turned on the radar polling. It wasn't a mistake on his part, the procedures had some ambiguity, and simulations hadn't fully tested this combo. But it highlighted how even small oversights in a complex system can spike the load. The Apollo Guidance Computer, AGC, forged by MIT's Instrumentation Laboratory and Raytheon, with IBM's backing, was a marvel of computers. Its core rope memory, a symphony of silicon and strand, had a ROM memory of 72 kilobytes and a RAM memory of 4 kilobytes. Why wasn't there more RAM? Because they didn't need any more RAM.
What is the fixed memory? The fixed memory is unique to the space age. It is a memory which cannot be written into by the arithmetic unit, and it contains information which must last the entire mission. It's here for safety.
Why impeccable? Apollo's choreography, rendezvous vectors, abort cascades were etched eternally, impervious to in-flight revision, obviating writable media's volatility. Radiations ravage. Cosmic tempests induce no damage. Vibrations vice, from Saturn V's symphonic roar to lunar touchdown's tremor, yielded naught. With no moving parts, it scorned mechanical frailty. Compactitude crowned the calculus. A 2-pound module crammed 2,048 words into a thimble's thrall. Priority interrupts and self-diagnostics warded off overloads, as in Apollo 11's 1202 alarm, quelling peril with preordained poise. Lately, this relic's resurrection reaffirms its robustness. Restorers Ken Sharif and Curious Mark unearthed a pristine AGC from Apollo 9's lunar module. Its rope modules corroded, yet salvable. Power cycled, disky aglow, executing Sundance's lost code with 1969 fidelity, even decoding forgotten telemetry. Today one can download and run the exact computer codes from the Apollo missions.
At touchdown on the lunar surface, he had a heart rate of 156.
Touchdown ensued on July 20th in the Sea of Tranquility, the landing gear compressing under a final vertical descent rate of a mere 3 feet per second. Horizontal velocity hovering at 10 to 20 feet per second. Fuel margins, a razor-thin few seconds remained, a testament to the mission's thermodynamic brinksmanship.
30 seconds.
30 seconds. Forward.
Rest followed, a 4-hour slumber in Eagle's Spartan confines, punctuated by system checks. After much preparation, Armstrong commenced egress, his boot descending the ladder. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And we're getting a picture on the TV.
You got a good picture, huh?
There's a great deal of contrast in it, and currently it's upside down on our monitor, but we can make out a fair amount of detail.
Okay, would you verify the position, the opening I ought to have on the camera?
Stand by. Okay, Neil, we can see you coming down the ladder now.
Okay, Neil, we can see you coming. Okay, I just checked getting back up to that first step. That hasn't collapsed too far, but it's adequate to get back up.
Roger, we copy.
It's a pretty good little jump.
Buzz, this is Houston. F2, 1/160th second for shadow photography on the sequence camera.
Okay. I'm at the foot of the ladder. The LEM footpads are only depressed in the surface about 1 or 2 inches, although the surface appears to be very, very fine-grained as you get close to it. It's almost like a powder. Ground mass is very fine. I'm going to step off the LEM now. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. As the surface is fine and powdery, I can pick it up loosely with my toe. It does adhere in fine layers, like powdered charcoal, to the sole and sides of my boot. I only go in a small fraction of an inch, maybe an eighth of an inch, but I can see the footprints of my boots and the treads in the fine sandy particles.
Armstrong, prescient of abortive shadows, scooped the contingency sample, a prudent 1.3 kilograms of regolith, sealed in Teflon bags and stowed in his suit pocket, ensuring scientific bounty even if Eagle faltered. Contingency prioritizing yield amid uncertainty. Aldrin followed with the bulk collection, 21.55 kilograms in total, comprising vesicular basalts, a micrometeorite pock soils, the solar wind isotopes, a pristine chronicle of heliospheric whispers.
Like it's a
Very interesting. It's a very soft surface, but here and there where I plug with the contingency sample collector, I run into very hard surface, but it appears to be very cohesive material of the same sort. I'll try to get a rock in here. Just a couple.
Oh, that looks beautiful from here, Neil.
It has a stark beauty all its own. It's like much of the high desert of the United States. It's different, but it's very pretty out here. Be advised that a lot of the rock samples out here, the hard rock samples, have what appear to be vesicles in the surface. Also, I'm looking at one now that appears to have some sort of phenocryst.
Broadcast via the Westinghouse Apollo lunar television camera and deployed from the modularized equipment storage assembly. This black and white Sentinel, scanning at 10 frames per second with 320 line resolution, beamed grainy ghosts to 600 million viewers. Aldrin joined Armstrong on the surface, and together they prosecuted the first EVA, a 2-hour, 31-minute exploration. Although numerous scientific jobs had to be completed, their sortie was a forensic ballet.
Making sure not to lock it on my way out.
Particularly good thought.
It's our home for the next couple hours, and we want to take good care of it. Okay, I'm on the top step, and I can look down over the RCU and landing gear pad. It's a very simple matter to hop down from one step to the next.
Yes, I found it to be very comfortable, and walking is also very comfortable. You've got 3 more steps and then a long one.
Okay, I'm going to leave that 1 foot up there and both hands down about the 4th rung up.
There you go.
Okay, now I think I'll do the same.
A little more. About another inch. There, you got it?
That's a good step.
Yeah. About a 3-footer.
Beautiful view.
Isn't that something? Magnificent sight out here.
Magnificent desolation.
2 Hasselblad 500EL data cameras wielded with 70mm magazines, 1 colour, 1 black and white, immortalised 1,492 exposures, close-ups of boot prints, the American flags unfurling, and the distant Earthrise, a blue marble suspended in ebony.
Bag deployed. We got this view, Neil.
Straight south.
Roger, and we see the shadow of the limb.
In the hills, Roger, the little hills just beyond the shadow of the limb is a pair of elongate craters. Probably the pair together is 40 feet long and 20 feet across, and they're probably 6 feet deep. We'll probably get some more work in there later.
Roger, and we see Buzz going about his work.
How's that for a final?
For a final orientation, we'd like it to come left about 5 degrees, over.
Back to the right about half as much. Yes, indeed. They've got the flag up now, and you can see the stars and stripes on the lunar surface.
Beautiful, just beautiful.
See if you can pull that end off a little bit. Straighten that end up a little.
It won't go up.
Okay.
A 16mm Mara data acquisition camera, mounted externally, filmed ascent at 24 frames per second in colour. Its 140-foot magazine, yielding 2.4 minutes of pyrotechnic poetry. The duo's 21 hours, 36 minutes on the lunar surface saw the deployment of the early Apollo scientific experiments package, seeding passive seismometers, and a laser-ranging retroreflector that still works today. Ascent ignited on July 21st, the Ascent propulsion system delivering 6,072 feet per second, vaulting Eagle's upper stage into a 9x45 nautical mile orbit at 3,700 miles per hour. Rendezvous and docking with Columbia transpired at GET 128.03 on the command module's 27th revolution, a flawless choreography of radar locks and nitrogen thruster whispers.
Yeah, I guess it'll take us another 6 minutes or something like that.
Madrid, Houston, contact. Madrid. 3-2 loud and clear. Okay. Roger, stand by for King and modulation check. This is Houston, contact testing, test 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
right on the schedule.
4, 3, 2, 1, test out. Houston, contact Madrid, King 100% modulation to go. Roger.
Goldstone, King 100% modulation with a go.
Roger, you're both go and meet me net 2 for further instructions. Roger.
Okay, let's put C-47 in. lost your transponder, Mike. I think.
We're completely out of here. Spare.
Wish you would.
Is it possible for you to trade headsets with our gas and audio?
Okay, we're getting it. Yeah, we're in good shape, Mike. We're breaking. Flying all over you.
Okay, flight plan doesn't call out whether we set up the limit aspect or the Genesis stuff. So, other than trying to figure that out, I would like to make two corrections to the CMP's portion of the flight plan. Of course, that goes so we can make that bands in. Probably one will be right at AOS. We'll just say that we change it later on. What does the checklist say about the staff code? The solo checklist the CNP is using up right in the docking and shows the same thing as flight plan.
Okay, we're about 11 meters a second coming in engine.
5 control. Go ahead. Something is confusing here in the LIM post docking checklist. When we configure the S-band, it says to verify the CFM is in there, dead bad as you know. And I take it to the GNC, their checklist does not reflect that. Okay, what is the configuration you want? R16110, say once again, 61102. What time do you want this? Sometime along the front side here of this road. After they were done? Raj. Okay. The 6 is the post docking number. Capcom, did you copy that? Capcom, Roger. Well, after they dock today.
We're not going to use it take down.
Flight also, due to quantum balance right now, I'd like to stay with using BD roll, which means our 0, 41.
And then I got out of it.
Okay, you want to keep the present configuration, Raj. On quads, which is, which two are we using? No, be all quads on. I want to change BD roll. Excuse me, yes. You want the BD roll active, Raj. And that's the same as we have now. That's what we have now. The flight plan goes LEC roll. Okay. Capcom, after they get docked and when you have time to give that configuration out. Like note. That is in the checklist. We just got to check it. And it is in the checklist. What? The proper download is on.
Looks good.
Big as life. Thank you. Okay, R2 is different. Yeah. R2 wants to be BD rather than AC. And what are the numbers that give us that for quad balance? 0, 4, 1. Okay. Capcom, that's the only one. Required balance 0 and 4 ones for BD roll.
Okay. Okay, Mike. I'll try to get position here, and then you got it. Five's good, Joe.
Trans-Earth Injection, TEI, fired the SPS for 157 seconds, slingshotting the stack homeward at 24,000 miles per hour.
This computer up above my head has a 38,000 word vocabulary, each word of which has been very carefully chosen to be of the utmost value to us, the crew. This switch, which I have in my hand now, has over 300 counterparts in the command module alone, this one single switch design. In addition to that, there are myriad of circuit breakers, levers, rods, and other associated controls. This operation is somewhat like the periscope of a submarine. All you see is the three of us, but beneath the surface are thousands and thousands of others. And to all those, I would like to say thank you very much. We've been particularly pleased with the emblem of our flight, depicting the U.S. Eagle, bringing the universal symbol of peace from the Earth, from the planet Earth, to the moon, that symbol being the olive branch. It was our overall crew choice to deposit a replica of this symbol on the moon. Personally, and reflecting the events of the past several days, a verse from the Psalms comes to mind to me. When I consider the heavens, the work of thy fingers, the moon and the stars which thou hast ordained, what is man that thou art mindful of him? The Saturn, the Columbia, the Eagle, and the little EMU, the spacesuit and backpack that was our small spacecraft out on the lunar surface. We'd like to give a special thanks to all those Americans who built those spacecraft, who did the construction, the design, the test, and put their heart and all their abilities into those craft. To those people, tonight we give a special thank you. And to all the other people that are listening and watching tonight, God bless you. Good night from Apollo 11.
11, this is Houston. We're getting a zoom view out the window now.
As we pan back out to the distance at which we see the Earth, we'll have Apollo 11 signing off. Roger, Apollo 11. Thank you much for the show. It's a real good half hour. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Out.
The return was a crescendo of friction. Mid-course corrections refined the corridor. Re-entry dawned at GET 19458 on July 24th. The command module slicing the atmosphere at 25,000 miles per hour. Blacking out communications mid plasma's fiery sheath. Ablative heat shield glowing at 5,000 degrees. Drogue parachutes bloomed at 25,000 feet. Mains at 6,000. Decelerating to 20 miles per hour for splashdown on July 24th. Quarantine ensued. 21 days in a mobile lab, a nod to lunar pathogens phantasm. Yet for the epistemically vigilant, Apollo 11's veracity transcends telemetry. Had this been a terrestrial masquerade, an Earth orbital loop, as some contrarians posit, its deceit would unravel under global scrutiny. Low Earth's orbit's VHF signals, pulsing at predictable altitudes of 100 to 200 miles, would have been intercepted by amateur radio enthusiasts worldwide, their directional antennas triangulating the charade with Doppler precision. Soviet deep space trackers corroborated every burn. Britain's Jodrell Bank Observatory, with its 250-foot Lovell telescope, eavesdropped on S-band emissions, charting the translunar arc in real time. Even Swedish and Australian stations relayed data, a polyphonic verification no soundstage could spoof. In this web of witnesses, fabrication falters, the signal's Doppler shift, the Van Allen belt's ionized hush, the moon's own seismic tremors, detected by the ESEP for weeks. These are unyielding axioms. Intriguing facets abound. Armstrong's sample bag, serendipitously deployed early, yielded the mission's first solar wind, exposed regolith, analysed to reveal helium-3's whisper. The TV camera's ghostly delay, a 1.3 second light time lag, physics' inexorable toll. Footage anomalies, the flag's wave. Simply torque from the pole's horizontal rod, inert in vacuum. Indeed, we were able to watch many minutes of footage from across all the missions, where after being positioned, the flags never move another millimetre. Their ascent from the moon actually blew the flagpole over, for it had been planted too near to the LEM, a mistake they rectify for future missions. And the samples, 2,200 particles, their zap pits and glass spherals, impossible to find on Earth, corroborated by Soviet lunar probes. Apollo 11 was no egotistical dream, but a collective mission. Over 400,000 minds, from Brown's V2 progeny to Bacon's fuel cells, converging in quadratic convergence. For the intellectual rover, it probes not just mechanics, but metaphysics, humanity's Promethean grasp on the infinite. Enter the realm of the cynical naysayer, those perennial doubters for whom NASA's Apollo Odyssey is but a flagship of a fleet of governmental deception. These skeptics aren't bound by scripture or shadowy cabals. Their creed is simpler, sharper. Institutional authority is inherently corrupt, and extraordinary claims demand extraordinary skepticism, though they wield it like a blunt instrument against all evidence. The moon landings, a Cold War charade, staged in a Nevada soundstage to outfox the Soviets. This narrative thrives on a kernel of plausibility. The US did fabricate the Gulf of Tonkin incident after all, so why not the Sea of Tranquility? Intellectually, this position draws from a venerable tradition of contrarianism, echoing David Hume's maxim that testimony for miracles is outweighed by uniform human experience. For these skeptics, the miracle of Apollo 11, 3 men hurtling nearly 239,000 miles through vacuum, surviving re-entry at 25,000 miles per hour, is too improbable without malfeasance. Anomalies abound in their litany. The fluttering flag in vacuum, aerodynamics be damned. Shadows inconsistent with a single light source, ignoring the sun's angle on uneven terrain, and the absence of a blast crater under the lunar module, but overlooking the low-thrust engine's throttle descent in low gravity, of which one can clearly hear the astronauts' observation as they checked under the LEM. It's a forensic exercise, appealing to the analytical mind that delights in pattern recognition, much like a Sherlock Holmes unraveling Moriarty's web. But peel back the layers, and this skepticism reveals its Achilles heel: selective credulity, multiplying entities, hidden directors, silence witnesses, buried blueprints, while dismissing the parsimony of success. Over 400,000 people collaborated on Apollo without a single credible leak. Soviet tracking stations corroborated the signals, and worldwide amateur radio operators intercepted the transmissions. The intellectual rigor falters when confronted with the Soviet lunar program's parallel achievements or the unrefuted seismic data from lunar experiments, which detected moonquakes for years post-landing. At its core, this cynicism is a psychological prophylaxis, forged in the fires of Vietnam-era betrayals and Watergate's machinations. It's not lunacy per se, but a hyper-vigilant epistemology where trust is the true casualty of progress. In a so-called post-truth landscape, these skeptics position themselves as guardians of reason, unswayed by consensus and logic. Yet their fortress crumbles under Bayesian scrutiny. The prior probability of a flawless hoax involving rival superpowers and global scrutiny plummets below negligibility when weighted against the posterior evidence of artifacts like lunar samples, analysed by geologists worldwide and matching no terrestrial composition. For the highly discerning viewer, this archetype invites reflection. Is skepticism a scalpel or a sledgehammer? When it cleaves fact from fiction, it illuminates. When it levels all to rubble, it obscures the genuine leaps that redefined our species' horizon. In doubting the moon landings, they don't just question NASA, they interrogate the very capacity for collective truth in a fractured world. In the analog age of 1969, where electrons danced upon magnetic oxide rather than silicon lattices, the Apollo 11 broadcast posed an epistemological fortress against fabrication, a live tapestry of telemetry and tenacity that no Kubrickian sleight could seamlessly weave. The lunar television camera, a Westinghouse SSTV marvel, scanning at a parsimonious 10 frames per second, beamed 143 minutes of unadorned verite from tranquility's dust, converted earthward via Goldstone's S-band receivers into NTSC orthodoxy for global dissemination. This wasn't celluloid reverie, but a real-time exhalation. Delays of 1.3 seconds lightwood, signal attenuation across nearly 240,000 miles, and the inexorable hiss of vacuum-modulated quanta. To counterfeit such a continuum, especially the EVA's 2-hour 31-minute unbroken vigil, from Armstrong's descent to Aldrin's ascent, demanded not mere montage, but mimetic sorcery beyond the era's imagination. And consider the tyranny of tape. Ampex 2-inch quadruplex reels, the broadcast bulwark, captured 16.7 milliseconds per frame in helical splendor. But splicing them, a Herculean heresy. Each edit would have severed sync pulses and color bursts, birthing discontinuities, jumps in chrominance, audio desynchronization, or luminance flares that no razor blade's precision could efface. For lengthy shots, fabricators would require overcranked film stocks, 35mm reels at 12 frames per second, yielding 1,000-foot spools every 11 minutes. Demanding 6.5 such serpents per take. What about splicing these into analog tape? Inevitable artifacts, grains, scratches, flies whizzing by, and errant hairs would speckle the feed, yet absent in Apollo's pristine emulsion. Magnetic disc recorders of the day, mere 30-second vignettes, insufficient for even a single parabolic bootfall, let alone the mission's marathon. Slow motion simulacrum compounds the conundrum. Artificial retardation via frame interpolation, storing surplus fields, exceeded 1969's computational pale, predating digital non-linears by decades. Overcranking film for lunar language, it bloated storage exponentially, unspoolable in live simulcast without generational loss. Each dub degraded signal to noise, veiling shadows in snow. Yet Apollo's footage gleams unmarred.
This should be getting larger, and if it is, it's the place we're coming home to. No matter where you travel, it's always nice to get home.
We concur, Levin. We'll be happy to have you back.
Dust parabolas arcing sans ballistic betrayal, regolith plumes dispersing in vacuum's hush, untroubled by air's convective kiss, and lighting's trickery falters too. Solar parallelism yields aberrant umbre, only through terrain's topographic tango, not spotlight scatter, a photometric fidelity no studio team could ape. For the philosophically attuned, this isn't mere technique's triumph, but analog's ontological honesty. where every frame's fidelity indicates artifice. Delve deeper into the labyrinth of conspiracy, and we find the shadow government theorists, architects of a grander illusion where the Apollo missions serve as a capstone of a psychological operation orchestrated by unseen puppeteers in an esoteric maze of deception. Here the skeptics aren't content with mere staging. They envision a meticulously engineered psyop, a spectacle to consolidate power, distract from earthly woes, or mask extraterrestrial pacts or hollow moon bases. Influenced by archetypes from Illuminati lore to MK Ultra disclosures, they argue that NASA, as a tentacle of the deep state, fabricated the landings to funnel billions into black budgets, fueling anti-gravity tech reverse engineered from Roswell wreckage. The moon, a projection, a holographic decoy to veil humanity's true cosmic quarantine. This worldview exudes intellectual allure through its systemic coherence, akin to a Mandelbrot set of interconnected deceptions. Drawing on Foucault's notions of power knowledge regimes, these theorists posit Apollo as discursive hegemony. By conquering the moon, the elite manufacture consent for space militarization, echoing Eisenhower's military-industrial complex warnings. Evidence? The abrupt halt after Apollo 17, budget cuts or mission accomplished in the PSYOP. Werner von Braun's Nazi pedigree fuels suspicion of occult undertones, with lunar symbolism invoking ancient fertility rites repurposed for mass hypnosis. The footage's anomalies like the sea rock, resembling a prop, become breadcrumbs in a trail leading to Area 51 sound stages. Actually a copy of the original photograph with someone's hair attached. Yet this edifice invites deconstruction via game theory and information economics. A PSYOP of Apollo's scale would require ironclad compartmentalization, yet leaks proliferate in lesser conspiracies. The Soviet Union's silence, not complicity, but genuine awe. Khrushchev toasted Armstrong privately. Lunar laser ranging, conducted by countries like France, confirms the reflector's positions with millimeter precision, a datum incompatible with holography. Intellectually, the theory falters on the principle of mediocrity. Why expend such resources on a lunar feint 6 times, when terrestrial spectacles suffice for distraction? Psychodynamically, these skeptics channel a Jungian shadow, projecting archetypal tricksters onto institutions to cope with modernity's disenchantment. The 1960s space race, amid assassinations and civil rights strife, amplified feelings of manipulated destiny. Apollo became the ultimate slight, a we choose to go that master, we choose to control. For the astute observer, this reveals not paranoia, but a metacritique of narrative power, how elites script reality from moonwalks to meme stocks. Ultimately, while the theory captivates with its fractal depth, it unravels under Occam's gentler blade. The landings were audacious, not insidious. In unmasking the PSYOP, these minds remind us that the truth isn't monolithic, but a contested terrain where doubt sharpens sight, provided it doesn't blind us to the stars' unfeigned glow. To even begin to fake 6 moon landings from 1969 to 1972 is impossible.
If we faked it, why did we fake it 9 times? You're gonna fake something, do it once and shut up, right?